Zeke, you got anything for me?
Man, I did about 10 hours ago at work, but I didn't write it down. And it's kind of slipped my mind since then. It's been a busy day.
So we're just going to say that we'll take a rain check on your cold open today?
I really did have something. It wasn't overly funny, but it was at least halfway. But shit, I forgot it.
Well, I'll just say for everybody out there, it has been a long time coming for your Atlanta Braves. As we're recording this right now, it's the middle of the ninth. The Braves are up 7-0. They couldn't close it out at home. They're going to close it out in Houston instead. I think it's safe to say that Houston is not going to have an 8-run ninth inning. Stranger things have happened, but for all intents and purposes, I am going to say congratulations to all the Atlanta Braves fans out there, and let's drink in your honor tonight.
Only champions I want to see them dogs, baby.
Hello, everyone. My name is John Edwards. With me, as always, is Zeke Baker, and together we make the Dad's Drinking Bourbon. Wherever you are, whatever time it is, thank you for making us a part of your day. We're changing the order around of these a little bit. We had a couple. Zeke and I were trying to get ahead because I'm going to be at Grains and Grits this weekend. He's going to have kids, all sorts of stuff going on. So we're trying to get ahead. I had some other ones in the can, but because Atlanta is up 7-0 tonight, I was like, all right, I am going to bust my butt and edit this one after we get off. So this comes out tomorrow so we can say congratulations to all the Atlanta Braves fans. That being said, I want to thank the people that help us pay the bills so that we can continue to do Dad's Drinking Bourbon. And that's our friend at Orca Coolers. If you use code DADSEASON, you will get 20% off your whole order at Orca Coolers. I saw today the holiday tumblers are already out. They have awesome coolers, all sorts of other stuff that are really, really cool. It is the Outdoor Recreation Company of America that is right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Go ahead and use code DADSEASON and you'll get 20% off, and all the other dads will be super envious of you. Another one of our sponsors is our friends at distilleryproducts.com. If you want laser etch glassware, other cool stuff that you can use as swag or sales, if you're a bourbon group, a distillery, or maybe you're a store, you want to have some stuff with your name on it, you want to have it laser engraved in, reach out to me. I'd be happy to get you in touch with all of our friends over at distilleryproducts.com. We use them for glasses. You should too. Last but not least, there is so much going on in the world of sports this week, Zeke, and our friends at action247.com, Tennessee's only sports book by Tennesseans for Tennesseans, lets you get in on the action. If you use code DADS100, it will match up to $400 of your first deposit. I'd tell you about World Series bets, but I think that's kind of over after tonight. If you haven't been betting on hockey, now's the time to start. There's all sorts of things for the Preds in there. The Champions League is back. The Hawks Nets are going on the 3rd, which is tonight. Jets Colts for Thursday Night Football. There's Friday deposit boost, SEC football this weekend. There's fighting coming up this weekend, Titans, soccer, so much stuff going on. Check them out at action247.com. Use code DADS100. I don't even feel like I took a breath there.
I was almost going to offer to cover the Action 24/7 ad for you simply because I'm fairly thankful that the series is hopefully over now. Being from Georgia in a state to where betting is not necessarily legalized, I've been proxying a lot the past 3 or 4 weeks now. And the text, especially last minute, hey, man, I need this on this. Can you do it like right now? Like, no, I have things I'm doing. I can't just stop and place bets for you, much less keep up with who won and lost, who still owes me money, who I owe money to.
So are you actually admitting to this on tape? I don't know if you should be doing that. Like, did you consult your counselor?
No, we talk enough. They bill by the hour. I can only do that so much unless we get a counselor sponsor.
You need to get that bet money so that you can pay for the counselor.
Funny, they all know when they win, but they don't know when they lose. Sons of bitches.
as somebody was nice enough to tell us that listen to us on YouTube recently, I want everybody to know we are a podcast. I only put these out on YouTube. They don't have a video with them. I'm sorry if you're listening to this. We have faces for radio. We see each other. We don't put it out there because we know nobody wants to see Zeke right now in a women's shirt that's buttoned down halfway to his belly button. Are you in the men's shirt?
Bro.
You're in the men's shirt right now?
Yeah, it's wintertime, so it's cold outside.
Well, it's still buttoned halfway down to your belly button. It's down. It's a deep V right there. I'm seeing a whole just hunk of chest hair.
I button the one notch that's at my belly button, and that's it.
And I just want to say nobody needs to see that. So to the person that was listening to us on YouTube and said, we have no following on YouTube, no shit, because people listen to us on Apple and Spotify and Google Play and Stitcher and Player FM and all that other stuff. Pandora, whatever it is. Find us where you can hear us and not see us. But my daughter came home today, and lately we've been doing a whole thing where I'm walking around the neighborhood with her, sometimes with the dogs, sometimes without the dogs, and I'm letting her ride her bike. As some of you may know, she fell earlier in the summer and broke her collarbone on her bike.
Fell or flipped? I think it was flipped.
I mean, she flipped over the front of her bike, but isn't that technically still a fall?
No, that's a flip.
I mean, you flipped when you fell. I mean, it's still technically you were on the bike, you were off the bike, you fell off the bike, you just fell forward and flipped.
Yeah, but if you tell somebody your kid fell off their bike, they're not going to immediately think, ooh, how did that end? To which you reply, broke her clavicle. Falling off a bike would be like scraping a leg or hurting a butt cheek. Flipping over the handlebars is going to lead people to wonder what happened.
She technically didn't flip. She like Superman. It was like she went over the front and she kept going. There was never a flip. It was like arms out in the air, like, Daddy, I'm flying. And then the worst scream you've ever heard in your whole entire life.
Your tuck and roll move.
I mean, she kind of rolled to the side as she was going down, but we're getting her back into biking, and I've been taking her around the neighborhood. And as we are going around the neighborhood, she says, Daddy, one girl who lives down the street has a crush on a boy who's our neighbor, and I had to tell him today. And these are older kids. These two are older kids. I think they're 9 or 10, but they're all in aftercare together after school in the gym. And so Sophia told the boy that the girl had a crush on him because she wanted her to. Then Sophia comes to tell me that there is a boy and a girl in her class that are boyfriend and girlfriend. And I'm like, at kindergarten? Like, is this really happening? I know I'm taking precious time away from a potential review here, but like, I feel I'm kind of on edge. Now, what pulled me back in is when I said, Sophia, you don't want a boyfriend right now, right? And she goes, no, boys are gross. They have hairy eyeballs. So now I feel okay. Like, I don't know what that means, and you're not supposed to know what that means. It's a 5-year-old Zeke that's saying it, but I'm just happy she thinks boys are gross right now and that she's focusing on learning and math and soccer.
And not flipping over the handlebars. It is official right now. Braves win.
Braves win. Hey, what food's Atlanta famous for?
Harry Carey, the Cubs, not the Braves.
I know. I just wanted to do Harry Carey.
But he was a Cubs.
He was Cubs, but I mean, it's National League. I just was trying to do an announcer.
You're not going to get much enthusiasm out of me on the Braves. I told you. This thing's been going. I don't do baseball.
It's okay. Let's move on. So before we start drinking this, I want to let you know, even though it's spelled Daviess, it's Daviess.
Well, there you go.
So we are drinking Daviess County straight bourbon whiskey. It is 96 proof. It comes from our friends at Lux Row. And I will tell you that this is a blend of two different mash bills. One is a wheated mash bill, and the other is a traditional rye mash bill. So it's a rye bourbon mash bill. So they say they do this for a balanced sweetness and spice. It is 46% ABV, 96 proof. And they blend it together. It is straight bourbon whiskey, but it's non-age stated, so we know it is at least 4 years old.
So this is Lux before MGP, obviously, though, right?
Well, it is still out. So it is a mix of different things. You don't know if it's the same distillery.
There's no mention of Kentucky, Indiana, et cetera.
I mean, it just says distilled and aged in Kentucky, bottled for Lux Row, Bardstown, Kentucky.
Well, distilled and aged in Kentucky would not be MGP.
There you go. But it's still out. I mean, like, they're still putting it out.
Oh, man. They had stocks. I mean, they've been distilling for at least a little while now. I mean, it's not just going to dry up and go away.
They got stocks on stocks on stocks.
Maybe not that much. They wouldn't have had to buy MGP.
Or maybe they were just smart and they knew they'd get more stocks on stocks. You never know. But anyways, this comes in at about $40. I've seen places that have it cheaper. I've seen places that have had it a little bit more. So before we even get to drinking it, you know it's kind of that in-betweener category where it's not the 20 to 30 and it's not the 50 and above. And we've been seeing a lot more that have been hitting in this category a lot lately. I'm hopeful and optimistic that we will find another tweener that is a good alternative for people to go to. Like, they don't have to spend over 50, but if they want to get something that's a little better than that 30 and below, it's that in-betweener category.
Is that like Tweener from Varsity Blues?
No, that's Tweeter.
Oh, it was. Shit. I tried to slip that in on you.
Hey, man, you ready to be on America's Funniest Shots in the Nuts?
Easily one of the best characters for a high school football movie.
Him and Billy Bob together. I mean, I could have seen a whole offshoot of Varsity Blues that had nothing to do with Lance and Dawson, and it was just Tweeter and Billy Bob going off and doing something.
It wouldn't be something. It'd be something dumb.
Yeah, it'd be dumb. It would be like Varsity Blues meets Jackass. Anyways, what did you think about this whiskey, Zeke Baker?
I'll just bypass a nose because honestly, I kind of forgot to do that during the tasting here. But palate-wise, I thought it had a pretty nice balance of corn, malt, and rye. The front was toffee sweet with other, things that go along in that category. It's got a nice malt in the mids. Closes out with a rye spice that's stronger than I would expect for the proof. I thought it did lack the depth of some extra age, but it would be very hard to say this isn't on the right track.
I agree with that, and I got a little tea in there too. Unsweet.
I didn't pick that up too much, but drinker-wise, I thought it's pretty well balanced. And I didn't know it was a blend of two different mashes till you read that off. So that kind of makes me appreciate it a little bit more, maybe, that someone seemingly worked to dial this in and get it where it needed to be. That can obviously, be harder than easier a lot of times. I don't have many qualms with it, knowing what you know going in as far as transparency and whatnot.
Yeah, and it's John Rempe, who is blending all that stuff together at Lux Row. He did a killer job with this. I think this is a super solid drinker at 96 proof. It's that price that, sometimes you're going to find it for 35, sometimes you're going to find it for 45. And if you find it at 35, buy a couple of them because it's a good drinker to have on your bar. I think the spice is going to go well in a cocktail if you want it in a cocktail. I really enjoyed it neat too. I think it will be something that will be interesting to see how the brand grows now that you do have that MGP influence with Lux Row and some of the barrels that we know are out there at 4 years old. I'd be willing to bet that this eventually comes out in a cask strength as well. And I think that'll be really interesting to see if that kind of ups the mouthfeel a little bit. Maybe a lot of the water here has dialed some of the stuff down that I think that you're looking for on the balance department, and maybe a little bit more boldness in there might balance it off a little bit, because I think it's sweet right now and it goes down relatively easy with a little spice at the end. The other thing I want to mention is throughout this whole Daviess County lineup, they have a French oak finished as well. So they have the regular straight bourbon whiskey, they have a French oak finished, and then they also have a Cab Sav finished. Now, obviously, y'all know what we're going to say about the Cab Sav. I would say the French oak finish was a killer finish to me as well. I don't know if you've tried it as you had it over there. I mean, for the price, Zeke, I'm talking about, you put everything together. This is an affordable bottle that you can actually get into, but I think their secret weapon, and I did not give you a sample of this yet. I don't think I have a sample for you. They partnered with Ducks Unlimited, and they actually put out Missouri White Oak barrels with toasted heads. So it was double barreled, and then they finished it in a Missouri White Oak with toasted heads. And that is killer. I think that is my favorite Daviess County. And of course, it is the limited edition one.
You definitely have not given me a sample of that one. The French oak, just in brief, because I did nip the sample of that one too. I thought it flirted with elements that French oak can add, but it was much more like a middle school dance kind of flirt. You know, the arms were apart. There wasn't a lot of touching, or almost, you know, akin to we're on the freeway and you can tell that car that wants to change lanes but never does, and it just pisses you off repeatedly. That was my two thoughts for that one. But again, the straight bourbon 96 proof, other than lacking a little bit of age that would just give it body and some other elements that are core to that. I don't have hardly any digs to say on this at all. I think it rounds out pretty well, and especially for the casual bourbon drinkers, I definitely think this is in their wheelhouse, whether they're doing it with ice, water, cocktails, all of the above. I think it has the core values to go with any of those.
And I'd just say for all the Daviess County offerings, you know, where this is more at the 40 realm, those finish ones, I mean, like that French oak one was at $50. To find a French oak finish at $50 is pretty impressive. You know, it's a drinker. It's not a shelf sitter. It's not one of those ones that you're only going to pull out when your friends are in town and it's a special weekend. Like, these are made and priced to be drank.
I can't disagree.
I am in favor of this one. I am a fan of it. If you see this out in the store, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. And at $40, it's hard not to. And if you really don't like it, just put it out, see what your friends think when they come over.
Fair enough.
Congratulations again to the Atlanta Braves and their fans. We want to thank Lux Row for sending us a sample of a few of the different Daviess counties. Cab Sav's your thing. It's a good bottle. If that's your thing, you can go find it. It is another sub 50 finish. They're pricing things in a great neighborhood. But go ahead and find us on Facebook at Dad's Drinking Bourbon, Twitter at Bourbon Dads, Instagram at Dad's Drinking Bourbon. Please leave us an open and honest review, like we leave open and honest reviews about the whiskey we drink. Zeke, where else can the folks find us?
Good old Nashville, Tennessee.
Cheers.
Ciao.